The instruments featured in this Hello My Name Is video series are brought to you by Medline, Koenig, and First.
Hello, my name is Weitlaner Retractor. Let's start off with the name of this device. It is a Weitlaner Retractor. It's not a Weitlander. A very common misspelling out there on count sheets and on reference cards to add a D into this device, but there is no D. It's Weitlaner. Alright, beyond the name, this particular device that we're looking at today is a 3/4 prong in length of a 6.5 inch sharp self-retaining retractor. Let's start with a self-retaining piece. So this is what makes this device a self-retaining retractor itself. And it's the ability of the device, because of this ratcheting mechanism and its built-in locks, to hold itself open during the procedure. So what happens is you click it, you can see that device is opening up a little bit more, and if you were to look really close at the ratchet mechanism itself, you can see some tiny teeth here, and that's what holds that ratchet in place every time that it closes. And then you see, as I push down on this little button here, it releases the tension on the teeth, and then you can freely open and close that device. But if I were to let down on that lever, you can hear the teeth opening, and then any tension on the end here is not going to close that device, because you've got all these stainless steel teeth here that are still holding it open. So that's kind of what differentiates it from the common handheld retractors that you may see out there, like the Kelly retractors, Richardson retractors, your Army Navy retractors. All those retractors have to be held by somebody. On these retractors, once you get them in place, many times they're still being held, but the tension itself, the retaining tension, is actually built into the device. Okay. Now, what's unique about the Weitlaners as well are the tongs, or the tips of the device. As I mentioned before, this particular model is a 3/4 prong model. You can see we got 3 prongs on this side, 1, 2, 3. You got 4 prongs on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when they come together, you can see they cross, and then they come apart just like that. You will see 2, 3 models out there, so you would still have the 3 pattern, but instead of having 4, you would just have those middle 2 that cross into themselves. As I mentioned before, this is the sharp variation, which means the tips of these prongs are actually sharp, but they also come in blunt or dull. Because it is a sharp device, you do want to be careful in inspecting and handling this on the clean side in the prep and pack area. Just be careful on how you pick it up, how you put it down, to make sure that you're not injuring yourself. In terms of inspecting, you do want to make sure that these prongs can not interlock, but pass over each other, just like you would do with your fingers. That there's nothing that's bent or out of place that is keeping that from happening. Very importantly, you're going to want to make sure that this little lever right here has some pullback to it. If there's actually some tension right here, because without the tension, if this stays open, the device itself can just kind of go back and forth. That self-retaining design is actually not going to work if that lever does not have tension to push it back in place to keep those locks in that place that we mentioned before. Okay, always test that with a little flick of your finger there, and then always open and close the device to make sure that it's in proper working order. An important inspection point here is on this little metal tension rod here, and that's actually what's giving your tension to this lever that's pushing it back in place in order for it to lock. Because there's a lot of tension on these little plates, it's very easy to see little cracks start to form right there by the screw. So always take a very close look at that anytime you have a self-retaining retractor like this come across your table. Because it is kind of fairly complex down here by the handle, pay extra close attention to any bioburden that may be hiding out down there. And anytime you've got a hinge kind of area like this, you're going to want to look for any cracks as well. Okay, that is your Weitlaner Retractor. You've been watching another episode of Hello, My Name Is, and until next time, keep fighting dirt.